got this question from my Discord server, and the question goes like this: how to deal with feeling you suck cause your past actions and current habits you have. Okay, so because of the things that I did in the past, I feel bad and I feel like I suck. I have some current habits that I want to change, but how did these habits form in the first place? I don't know, but it makes me feel bad. That's the question, right? And there's many ways of approaching this kind of a problem, but this question happened to be asked in a channel called Unshaming. So, unshaming is a coaching methodology. It's a model of fixing problems that we think are problems. So, if we approach this problem of feeling like you suck because of your past actions and current habits, how does unshaming look like when we approach it like that? Well, unshaming fundamentally is about we like to see sides of ourselves that we don't like as problems. We try to fix these problems with ourselves. We try to eradicate these sick parts of ourselves. And we believe if we can just remove this portion, our lives will be so much better. And this is kind of the allopathic or a deficit model or something like that, right? Where we try to eliminate problems to get to a good state. This makes sense in medicine when we have an infection. We want to remove the bacteria responsible for the infection, and then we can get back to a healthy state. So in terms of physical health, it makes sense. But the field of therapy, the field of psychology, it's developed as a branch of medicine. Therefore, we have a tendency of looking at our psyche and how the mind operates from the same kind of a perspective, that anything that makes us feel bad is likely a bad thing we need to remove surgically or whatever. So that's why they literally did lobotomies and frying brains and things like that in the past, right? Okay, unshaming offers the idea that, hey, you're not a stupid human. You're an intelligent human. Intelligent meaning you may not have all the answers in your life right now, but you have the cognitive power to come to finding the answer, right? And so you're this not only somewhat of a smart person, you're actually a very, very intelligent person. And therefore, you must have lots of intelligent parts within yourself. And moreover, you, if we extend that line of thinking just a little bit, any part of you is intelligent because you are intelligent. So, my dog is cute. Therefore, every little part of him is so adorable. There's nothing that's not adorable because why? My doggo is adorable, right? So, taking that approach, instead of looking at ourselves as a problem, instead of looking at ourselves as this problem to be fixed, we look at ourselves as, hey, I'm this really great person and I'm really smart, but in ways I don't immediately understand. So, my unconscious, my entire being, is giving me this experience right now because I have a lesson to learn from within me. But I'm usually just so up in my head trying to think my way into these problem solving, so I get lost in the weeds of life. So my deeper spirit, my unconscious self, my true me, is trying to get me to recognize something by giving me a deeper lesson than what meets the eye. So when we follow the unshaming thing, when we follow the unshaming paradigm, why do I feel this specific feeling in particular when I could be feeling other things? So I did some past action. Let's say I stole a stick of gum from a convenience store. Okay, I did that. And current habit. Let's say I have a habit of compulsively watching pornography. Okay, so when I compulsively watch porn, when I stole the piece of gum, right? I didn't feel like this at the time, but in reflection, right? In reflection, I'm having this specific feeling arise in me. But if I was a criminal who was, going on to more, crazier and bigger scale crime activities, then the stick of gum would be like my excellent origin story. If I happen to be working in the field of pornography, suppose I'm a director, then I'm a really passionate director, right? Always looking for influences. So just like that, I could be feeling different about any of these. I could be feeling, remorseful. I could be feeling happy that I was a hustler. I tried to make it out for myself. I could be feeling forgiving to myself. Like, oh, well, I mean, everybody has to, go through life, all, crooks and nannies of the lives, and, we just have to find our way somehow. So we could be feeling all these different things, but my unconscious, for reasons I don't understand yet, is encouraging me to feel this specific bad feeling. Why? What am I trying to teach me? So it's a very deeply personal process that we follow for unshaming. So I can't really, because this isn't real time, I can offer you examples of how this might be unshamed. But ultimately, the work lies within you, right? You have to answer the question. You have to ask yourself. You have to be willing to not look at yourself as a problem, but look at yourself as a teacher who you can learn from. So, with that said, that's the unshaming way. But had this question been asked in another channel that's not unshaming, then I would give you the Buddhist answer. And the Buddhist answer is this. When you look at reality instead of your perceived reality, right? Right now, I think I'm looking at me and my dog through my recording software. But I'm not. Actually, I'm looking at my monitor, right? I think I am seeing me, but all I'm seeing is a reflection of me, right? So, that's somewhat like not looking at reality and thinking that I'm looking at reality. I'm seeing my dog. Because it's my dog, I think my dog is pretty cute. But there may be another person who had been bitten by a Maltese dog like this guy before. So from that person, this dog is scary. I think my dog is cute. That person thinks my dog is scary. We're looking at the same dog, but we're looking at different representations. We're looking at different personal reflections of the same dog. Okay, so I feel like I suck because of my past actions and current habits instead of something else. But specifically important for Buddhist purposes, I'm suffering because of my past actions and current habits. Okay, then what I did in the past, is it absolutely the truth that I have to feel bad because of this? Because if so, if it is absolutely the truth that I have to suffer because of my past actions, then I have to suffer, right? Then there's no point in feeling bad about it, right? So, I touch fire, I burn my finger. That's something I have to deal with because I'm the one who touched the fire, right? Even if I accidentally touched it, there's no way around it. So, if the reason is actually like that, then there's nothing else to do but accept it, right? Anything else is just it's just does nothing for me. So, this is kind of similar to grief, right? A person I love passed away. I don't want them to pass away, but they did, right? And so the more I linger on the grief, and same with breakups. I don't want to break up with my ex, but they're already gone. But I don't want them to. I want them to come back, but they did. So the more I linger based on my personal belief, in contrast with reality, that's when I start really suffering, right? Okay, so I suck because of my past actions and current habits. Okay, so why do I suffer because of that? More importantly, isn't there a way to suck and not suffer? We have this idea, we have this implicit perfectionism that we can't suck. But the reality is, there's never a moment where we don't suck at least a little bit. And also, when we look at reality, there's no way we're that bad. We're at least some amount of good in some measure. Why? Because that's what we are, right? We're a complex being with a lot of statistical, samplings. Today, in terms of, physical condition, I had a certain level of variance. But there are people who feel worse than me today, right? There are people with COVID or something. There are people with broken limbs. I feel kind of tired today, as you can see, but I'm kind of doing okay compared to them. But also, I'm not as good as a, well-rested person who just, got an IV shot of vitamins, right? But at the same time, I'm here talking to you today about, Buddhist concepts and unshaming. So on that way, I'm kind of being productive on a holiday, which is good. But at the same time, there's probably people who are, working the, midnight shift on the holiday, and I'm not doing that. So, in every way, in some sense, I suck. And that's by design. Because sucking is a relative concept. There's always going to be people who do better things than me. There's always going to be people who do worse things than me. But if what other people do and what I do becomes a reason to suffer, then it becomes a reason to suffer because not reality, but my insistence on a personal idea. My personal insistence on this idea that I have to be good. I have to be better than me, than what I am right now. But guess what? The you that you have today is the you that you have. Doesn't matter what you think what you should be. The you that you have is the you that you have. Right? So, when you define your life by the things that you are not, you're gonna suffer. For you to not suffer, you have to be willing to accept yourself as you are today. Yes, you do suck. But there will never be a day when you don't suck. You suck today because you weren't consciously making choices about your life that won't make you suck. So, you will go about your day doing more things that will make you not suck in the future. But as human beings, our goal is to be awake to this, presence all the time. But guess what? We will be consumed by our thoughts and feelings again, right? So we will do unintentional things that make us suck again. Guess what? Then that's no different from today. Also, even if you do the things that you may that will make you feel like you don't suck. Even if you do them, your standards will change. You will learn more about not sucking, and you will get better at not sucking. Therefore, even if you do live a life of a better life, there's always something more to do. So what I'm saying is, the state that you want to be in the future when you don't suck is effectively the same state as you are in right now. You are the you that you have. Everything that you're experiencing today is a remnant of the past actions and decisions you made, regardless of your intention. Therefore, when we recognize this, the best we can do is be more intentional with them. And if we don't become intentional, it's okay. Because the worst thing that's going to happen is that you're going to be in the same spot as today. But what's so good about today? You can make the decision to be more intentional about your life. And you can make that decision at any point in time in the future. And moreover, you have to act on that decision. But acting on that decision is hard, right? But if I want to eat because I'm hungry, will just staring at the food feed me? No, I have to eat the food, right? Okay, so I will try to be, more intentional about my life, but it'll feel hard and I will fail every once in a while. But that's okay. Why? Because it's not that different from today. And because today I can make the decision to be more intentional about my life, today I can also make the decision to do the things that I intend to do regardless of how I feel about it. And that power that you hold today will be there tomorrow too. Will be there the day after tomorrow. But the more time you spend not doing the things that you intentionally do, the more time you spend doing unconscious things, the more work you have to do to undo it, right? Buddha came out of his home at age 29. He spent 6 years in voluntary suffering. Jesus took, I think, 49 days or something in the desert, but he was a very humble man, right? So he didn't have a lot of humanness to cleanse out, a lot of karma to cleanse out. So just like that, the more time you spend being unintentional, the more effort it'll take to undo your unintentional habits. But this is kind of like, there's no other way around it, right? So that will be the Buddhist answer to this. And it's, as you can see, it's very different from unshaming. But the primary reason why I rely on Buddhism first, and I use unshaming as an auxiliary method, secondary method, is because unshaming puts a lot of weight in your personal experience, which can be beneficial if you have a very, very negative relationship with yourself. But when it comes time to actually execute on your life, when it comes time to actually do something about your life, you can't rely on you to always be in motivation and always be in sync and coherence with yourself. When push comes to shove, you have to be able to go regardless of how you feel. And that is the power of Buddhist practices. That is what liberates you from the last tether that you have, the last tether to attachment that you have, your attachment to your feelings, right? So this was a bit of a lengthy video, but I hope it gives you the complete answer on how I would answer your question, how to deal with feeling like you suck because of your past actions and current habits you have.